campus. Young people are going from campus. Come on, tell me what one. Campus connection, yeah, and that's a one. Yeah. One from campus. How we are carrying on from campus.
All right. Welcome, one and all to Campus Connection. It's all about what's going on campus here on the family station Love 101. I am Jonathan Fletcher, and with me is my co-host.
Anesta Samuels, and hello to everyone. It is a very special, very sobering episode for you today.
Mhm.
We're doing a mental health check in. We want to know how everyone is doing, how you're recovering, and hopefully you are recovering. We just want to talk with you, and even get some feedback from some professionals to ensure that we're all coping with what we've just been through as a nation. Jonathan, our social media question for today is how are you managing through the hurricane? But definitely that's something that we want to even think about and ask ourselves, how am I really managing even now, post Melissa? So we have lots in store for you guys. But before we go any further, a word from our sponsors, the Ministry of National Security and Peace, and their Live Good anti-violence campaign.
See all my face bruise up? They beat me just because I said I'm tired.
I'm only 13, but they said if I work harder, they will make me go back home.
Me not have no birth paper nor no ID. Them have all of my documents them. Forced labor is one of the many forms of human trafficking. Report suspected cases of human trafficking. Call the nearest police station 119 or 888 PROTECT. A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Okay, where are the campus eyes? Students are strap up in a price. We are.
All right, welcome back to Campus Connection, brought to you by Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign from the Ministry of National Security and Peace. As Anesta said earlier, it's a very sobering episode. A lot is going on in our country, and I must say that we ought to be grateful that we are alive and well. Many persons do not have that opportunity. I visited one of the places that was badly affected during the hurricane, and the people. I went on a Sunday
Yeah.
last,
Mm-hmm.
and the people were smiling
Wow.
and they were so happy to see us. And
Mhm.
as a matter of fact, they just finished church
Wow.
based on
Wow.
what they could have done given
Right.
the
Right.
circumstances. And I was just like, wow, this is. And what almost broke me was the
Mm-hmm.
fact that they were offering produce to us.
Wow.
And I just like, these people have lost so many things, yet
Mm-hmm.
still they're finding it in themselves to be kind, to be generous. And I was just like, wow, that is really something else. So we're very grateful that we are alive and well.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible does encourage us that we should give thanks in everything, because it's literally the will of the Lord concerning us. So that's super important. But yeah, mental health check in. That's what we're
Yeah.
focusing on this evening. What else do we have for the people today?
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely want to hear what's happening inside of our education news and bulletin, what's happening on our campuses. I know some schools have reopened, some are in no position to reopen right now. And, we want to know what's happening on campuses. And so, following that, we have a special interview with Miss Erica Bennett, a guidance counselor who will be giving us tips on how to deal with traumatic occurrences in our lives. And if you've seen or if you've witnessed or experienced anything concerning this hurricane, then you know that certainly this will be a much needed discussion
Mhm.
on just how to navigate these times. And following that, of course, we have our campus hurricane bites from teachers in Montego Bay. And of course, we'll do our mental health check in as our main discussion for today. So we have quite a few guests coming on to just kind of help us, as we said, to navigate the post Melissa era that we find ourselves in.
Absolutely. To kick things off, we're going to start with our education news and bulletin, and this will be done by Camille Lawrence, our campus consultant.
Education news and bulletins for Tuesday, November 4, 2025. Educational support outside of school term being considered, says Morris Dixon. Following the widespread destruction caused by Category 5 Hurricane Melissa, particularly in Western Jamaica, Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, at a special media briefing held Monday, November 3, says her ministry is actively considering providing additional educational support outside the standard school term to address the anticipated learning loss. On Monday, 136 schools reopened less than a week after Category 5 Hurricane Melissa wrecked the western end of the country. The decision raised public concern that the return to school was too swift given the devastation. However, Morris Dixon explained that the reopening process was being done carefully and with students and staff in mind. Noting that the ministry is exploring solutions to rebuild and maintain learning in areas where schools were destroyed, Morris Dixon reiterated that it will take some time for schools to return to normal, and said discussions are being had to decide the best way forward. She said options being considered include setting up temporary tents, relocating students to other schools, or providing learning materials for those at home on certain days. Minister Dixon also shared that the ministry is partnering with the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, to develop effective recovery strategies. Ministry tackles physical, psychological recovery in schools. The Ministry of Education has announced that it will convene a meeting today with key education stakeholders, including the Jamaica Teachers Association, the National Secondary Students Council, the Jamaica Union of Churches, and the National Parent-Teacher Association to discuss strategies for returning children to school as quickly as possible. Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris Dixon explained that Hurricane Melissa, which struck Jamaica last Tuesday, caused extensive infrastructural damage to schools across the island, particularly in western parishes where the storm made landfall. According to Morris Dixon, today's meeting will focus on finding ways to minimize potential learning loss resulting from the school closures. While noting that the western parishes bore the brunt of the storm, Morris Dixon added that schools in Clarendon and Manchester were also significantly affected. Last week, she indicated that schools in parishes less impacted by the hurricane would reopen this week, leaving final decisions to school boards and principals based on local conditions. Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Catherine were among the least affected areas. Meanwhile, emphasizing the mental health impact that the storm can have on those in the sector, Morris Dixon stated that the ministry has 30 psychologists and psychiatrists available through the ministry to provide psychological support as needed. And now for the bulletins. This November, we worship with purpose. Join Crosslinks Production and Delight in partnership with Jamaica Youth for Christ, Imperium Gospel, and Go for God Family Church as we present Audience of One, the Worship Encounter, under the theme, Yet Shall We Praise, in aid of those affected by Hurricane Melissa. Join us this Friday, November 7th, starting at 7 p.m. at Go for God Family Church, Shortwood Road, Kingston. Bring your donations, food, clothing, money, and household items. Every gift makes a difference. Dress code, all white. For more details on how to give, call 876-396-1808 or DM at Audience of One 876 on Instagram. Audience of One, November 7 at 7 p.m. Go for God Family Church, Shortwood Road, Kingston. Campus Connection hopes that you and your families are safe in the wake of Hurricane Melissa. We extend our deepest condolences to those who have lost loved ones, and we pray that God will bring comfort, strength, and support to everyone who is hurting, displaced, or in need during this time. Stay safe, stay encouraged. From your Campus Connection team here at Love 101, I am Camille Lawrence.
Certainly appreciate that encouragement from our campus consultant and the Education News and Bulletin from her as well, Camille Lawrence. And now we want to encourage you to interact with us. We are live on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok at Love 101 FM Jamaica. And we also have our studio lines open at 876-968-8327 or 876-968-8328. We're also able to take your messages on WhatsApp at 876-997-3125. We want to know, how did you manage during the hurricane? How did you manage? How are you coping now that the hurricane is over and we are rebuilding and recovering? How are you doing? We're just doing a mental health check-in today.
Yes, so many things to unpack and to, explore based on what would have happened. Because the truth is, we've never experienced anything like this as a country. So it's important for us to really take the time out to feel what we need to feel, go through what we're going through. But of course, we cannot leave God out of it. As a matter of fact, He should be the one guiding us through this very traumatic experience. And we're going to have a special interview with Miss Erica Bennett. She is a guidance counselor, so she'll be giving us tips on dealing with traumatic occurrences in our lives and things alike. Erica, how are you doing?
Welcome
Hi.
to Campus Connection.
Hi, good evening, lady and gentlemen. It's good to be here. Thank you for the invite, and hopefully at the end of the conversation, somebody will be helped.
Absolutely.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Boy. That's a very difficult question to answer.
We're encouraged.
Yes,
We're
yes,
encouraged.
yes.
We're hopeful.
Okay,
Yeah.
Great. All right.
All right.
So this evening we're going to be talking about mental health care after a traumatic experience, correct?
Correct.
All right.
And I want to actually pose the same question to you, Miss Bennett, that we pose to our viewers in terms of, and our listeners, in terms of how did you manage through the hurricane and how are you managing now?
Good question. All right. So I live with my mother who has dementia. And during the hurricane, I had to be not only calling on the Lord, but also helping her through the process. So it got difficult when she became very anxious. She was just pacing a lot. And I had to just listen to or repeat actions that I usually use to calm her, which include sleeping beside her that night. And I realized that calmed her. But it was a difficult period for me mainly because of the winds that I was able to hear on the outside, hoping and praying for nothing disastrous to happen.
Wow.
I came through, thank God.
Bless God. We're going to jump to a quick break, but you want to stick and stay with us as we continue with more Campus Connection after these messages.
See all my other face bruise up? They beat me just because I said I'm tired.
I'm only 13, but they said if I work harder, they will make me go back home.
Me have no birth paper nor no ID. Them have all of my documents then. Forced labor is one of the many forms of human trafficking. Report suspected cases of human trafficking. Call the nearest police station, 119 or 888-PROTECT. A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Grace is giving shoppers discounts on over 20 of your favorite Grace products when you cash out at participating supermarkets. The time that Grace could move is
5:45.
Something big is coming this Christmas. 2 cities, 2 days.
One unforgettable experience.
Mark your calendars. Saturday, December 13th and Saturday, December 20th, 2025. The magic of the season is about to hit Jamaica like never before.
Where will it be? Who will be there? Stay tuned.
Because season splendor is coming and you don't want to miss it.
Season Splendor. The countdown begins.
Okay, where are the campus heights? Students are strap up in a price. We yard.
Welcome back to Campus Connection. If you're just joining us, we're doing a little check-in, a mental health check-in after everything that we've experienced over the past couple of days. We thought it fit to do a proper check-in, and so we've invited Erica Bennett, a guidance counselor, to just share some things with us. So, Erica, take it away.
Jonathan. Thank you. All right. So, as it is, the program is called Campus Connection. Although it is called that, what I have to offer this evening is mainly for any and every Jamaican who experienced the hurricane in whatever capacity that you would have. A lot of our people are connected to other persons in different parishes, and so the information is needed by everyone not because persons are not in St. Elizabeth or Westmoreland, they are, and so. Hopefully, this information will help them. So let's set some context. What can you expect after a disaster? It is common to notice these symptoms. However, it is important to take steps to reduce their persistence in yourself and your loved ones. So on occasions, your mind is going to go back to the incident or incidents, depending on where you're at. But you want to prepare yourself now with what are you going to do when your mind wanders off back to things that happened last week during the hurricane, or even now, because after the hurricane there are still things that are happening. So I want to remind person that you may have difficulty concentrating, you may feel jumpy, feeling of fear or anger. Some people may even feel trapped, although I would not consider trapped to be an emotion, but persons are unable to reach out to their families, so because of that they're having difficulty. They feel kind of trapped. There's nothing they can do in terms of getting to them. All right, upsetting dreams or memories, feeling hopeless, feeling detached, physical symptoms like headaches, upset stomach, difficulty sleeping, tiredness, racing heart or shakiness, even trouble eating. Yes, and so now I want to look at some things that you can do to cope whenever the feelings, the thoughts, the reminders come, and there are triggers. Things are going to happen that remind you of the situation. For example, where I'm at now, I'm hearing the rain on the outside, so the rain may be a trigger. Something that somebody says or did to us can trigger us back. Hearing the thunder or the lightning, something can trigger you. So here are some ways to deal with the mental strain that you are experiencing now. Allow yourself to feel your emotions. In other words, your emotions are valid. Nothing is wrong if you are feeling them all the time, right? It's okay to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or sad. Acknowledge your feelings and don't try to suppress them. Don't push them under the carpet. Deal with them. All right? Stay connected with loved ones if possible. Reach out to family and friends for support. If you're unable to reach out to loved ones, talk with other people who care about you and who can really help you. Number 3, take care of your physical health. Try to get enough sleep, eat nutritious foods, and exercise when you can. Many persons, when they are stressed, tend to eat comfort foods, which are not necessarily good for them. Taking care of your body can help your mind feel better. Now, when you talk about healthy foods,
Mm-hmm.
maybe someone in St. Elizabeth or Westmoreland is
That's
listening
what
this
I was just about
afternoon,
to ask.
and and maybe thinking, hey, what are you talking about healthy foods? All right. No, some of these foods that you're eating, for example, the tin mackerel, that's healthy food, right? And as it pops in my mind, I'm gonna say it, pray over it, bless it,
Mhm.
and say, Lord, you add the additional nutrients that I need. Remember what he did
Mm.
with the manna?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Manna. All right. It may seem simple, but God blessed the manna and put whatever is necessary for the body in there. So God will take care of his people. All right. The next
Love
point,
that.
find ways to relax and engage in activities that calms you, like watching your favorite movie without any electricity now. However,
Right.
I'm hearing of people in St. Anne, Montego Bay, and so on, gathering in groups because there's no electricity and they're sitting and talking, right?
Oh,
Talking
nice.
helps a lot, all right? You can share good memories of maybe someone who has passed,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just so that you can stay afloat, afloat of the many negatives that may come. And
Mm-hmm.
talking about negatives, talk about the things that are positive because
Yeah.
sometimes we tend to complain and murmur a lot. But let us take on the attitude of giving God thanks and see how much it changes how we feel on the
Yeah.
inside and encourages someone who we are talking with. All
And
right?
I feel like I mean I know you have your items to cover, but I feel like there's one important thing that I want to ask you about.
Sure,
What
go
about
ahead.
those who are in communities? They might be marooned, they might be, just not cut off from community in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Persons who might be feeling alone. What would you say to those persons?
Ah, that's a very difficult situation to be in, and I empathize with my fellow Jamaicans who are marooned at this time. You're looking out for the aid and you're not seeing it coming. I'm not sure what the context is, the situation is. However, you have a heavenly Father that you can call on, and there is no situation that is too hard for him.
Mhm.
There's no situation that is too difficult or is new to him because
Mhm.
Mhm.
he has kept his people over the centuries. And
Yes.
even though you may feel like nobody's coming to your aid, someone is coming to your aid at the appropriate time. Now, I may be talking foolishness, but I'm begging you, put it into practice.
Yeah.
Call on your God. Let him know how you feel. Reach out to someone else who is marooned and make and connect with the person so that you can pray together. You can laugh together. You can smile about things that have happened in the past and look forward ahead with hope in your heart because
Mm,
our God is a God of hope and he will
mhm.
send help at the right time. So take heart, my brother and sister. God will see you through.
Mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely. We are unfortunately out of time, but I do believe that we covered a lot, and you have given us a lot to think about, a lot of
Mhm.
practical things that we can do. So we are very, 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 very grateful that you would have taken the time out, Erica, to be with us and to share in this way. But if you were to leave one word with the Jamaicans, the diaspora, the world at large listening right now, one word of encouragement, what would that be?
Jamaicans have a, a spirit that is like no other. We
Mm-hmm.
bond together. When we go to foreign country, we help other people. When we are here, we help our neighbors. Now is the time when we're seeing Jamaicans bonding and looking out for each other. Have you seen the line of cars going towards the
Yes.
west, trying to
Yes.
help each
Yes.
other? We have an indomitable spirit that says we can overcome anything. And
Mhm.
when I look at these social media sites and I read people's comments because I want to hear what people are thinking and how they're feeling,
Mm-hmm.
many persons in Jamaica, whether they are in your parish or not, are praying for us, for each
Mhm.
other, right? People overseas are praying. So many prayers are being offered up to God on our behalf. And
Mhm.
Yes.
therefore, God, who is a God of mercy and a God of love,
Absolutely. Mhm.
is touched by the feelings. I was going to say the feelings of our infirmity, but we're not necessarily sick. But whatever emotion that we may be experiencing now, our God feels it, He knows, and He is able to minister to those needs. And that is why community is important. When you stay together, you don't have anybody to strengthen you. But when you come
Yes.
together in community, God
Yes.
will strengthen you through other people's experience. So
Yes.
Mhm.
wherever you are in the world and you're listening, God will take care. If you're not hearing from your family members, trust in the Lord. He will let you hear from them soon. All right? God will take care of you. The
Love
Lord
it,
bless
love it,
you.
love it. Thank you so much, Miss Erica Bennett, guidance counselor. And I know that those who are listening, who are watching, are certainly being helped by the information you shared today. We're going now to our campus hurricane bites, which will be brought to us from some teachers in the Montego Bay area. So listen in.
Hey, Lovado Auntie, Raheem here from Montego Bay. It's words aren't enough to describe the sights that I'm currently seeing after navigating Montego Bay and parts of Trelawney, and also Hanover. I had to travel to Hanover to visit some of my coworkers there, but it's very very horrific, and I'm trying to send this voice note in the taxi because we're only receiving service on the main road. So some of the hotspots in Montego Bay, if you're in the Rosal region, you can visit Iberostar and or the Montego Bay Convention Center, Hyatt or Jewel Grand. You can get service there. Both networks, you can also get service at the Sansas International Airport only Digicel on that strip. And if you go into the Montego Bay town, you will be able to get service. But it's hard. It's really hard to tell you and to describe the scenes that I'm seeing. My community of Lilliput, everything is now exposed. No, everything is now exposed. There, you can see everyone's house. A lot of damages. The gullies there in the community. A lot of debris is on the road, on the main road. The power lines are completely down. Transformers blown. It's too much. It's horrible to even describe what's really happening.
The people on the side of Montego Bay, we are in dire need. Dire need of supplies, everything. I am living in Rose Hall in the Port area, and I'm telling you, houses are flat. Places where houses were, it just looked like they are just pieces of garbages, really, because the clothes have been torn by the wind, so you see scraps here and there. Um, Foundations that were concrete have been blown down totally. A lot of persons are left homeless, and a lot of children are here without food, water. There's no light. A lot of neighbors can't even put you up because their houses have been flooded. Also, windows have been blown out. It is a big catastrophe down this side, honestly. And the shops, they have been destroyed. The roofs are gone. The foods that are in there are all gone. So we don't have anything down this side. We are barely hanging on by hope by this side. because it just looks like a whole new world. And we are sure that we are going to get electricity or anything back this side as early as anyone else, because majority of the poles are broken. So that is not going to happen.
Wow, wow. Words really fail me after
Yeah.
listening to that. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Campus Connection after this.
I'm Itana, and human trafficking is everybody's business. Call 1-888-PROTECT to report suspected cases of child trafficking.
The time by the Ministry of National Security is
601.
Me just never did I get through with no work, you know. And me did I get desperate. Till one day me see one ad, but them want somebody for work at a massage parlor. Trust me, the place was nothing like them advertised. From the very first day, I had to be giving much more than massages.
Verify the legitimacy of job advertisements with the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. To report suspected cases of human trafficking, call the nearest police station, 119 or 888-PROTECT. A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Okay, where are the campus heights? Students are strapped up in a price.
Welcome back to Campus Connection. It is our mental health check-in. We wanted to see how you're doing post Melissa and also how you managed throughout the hurricane. If you have any questions, any thoughts on this topic, then we definitely want to hear from you. We are live on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok at Love 101 FM Jamaica. And we, of course, want to hear from you on WhatsApp at 876-997-3125. And of course, Campus Connection is brought to you by the Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign from the Ministry of National Security and Peace. Speaking of security and peace, we have a discussion coming up. We have some persons who will be joining us, Jonathan, just to kind of evaluate and assess how we're really feeling. You know, we have Miss Destiny Findlay, the UEUCCF president. We have Miss Talea Ferguson, a recent graduate of the Excelsior Community College. We also have Mr. Brian Anderson, the president of the National Secondary Students Council and a student at Monroe High School, joining us today. And, you know, when we speak of mental health and checking in on our mental health, guys, we're basically trying to find out how you're really doing. We know we see you smiling. We know we see you going about or trying to go about your regular day, but how are you really doing inside? And so welcome to the show, and thank you so much for deciding to come on to really unpack this issue of mental health with us today. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hi, thank you so much for having us.
All right. Wow. Yes. Welcome to Campus Connection. So we've seen the photos, we've seen the videos. Some of us have seen the devastation in person. It's a very serious situation on the ground. There are children who are literally walking up and down, pleading for water, pleading for food. Persons, their livelihoods, they are destroyed completely. I remember one gentleman I was talking to, because you know the Christmas season is upon us, and he is a sorrel farmer. What do you think about this? He's a sorrel farmer, and he lost everything, every single sorrel that he planted. And his response was just like, boy, I'm just grateful same have life.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that is such a sobering thought. So it leads me then to this question. Destiny, you're a UE student, and UE is in the news currently.
Right.
But what's the word on the ground? What are the students expressing currently?
It seems that we're getting a little bit of interference there with Destiny. I'm not sure if this is just on my end, but it's not.
No, I'm not hearing her.
Okay, so Destiny, we're gonna try to work through that, and definitely we want to hear your take. As Jonathan said, Yui has been in the news, and so we want to know. But maybe we could pose this same question to Talea, Jonathan. Talea is a recent graduate of Excelsior Community College. So you tell us a little bit about what you've been hearing from, your past classmates, your co-workers. What are they saying?
Well, by the grace of God, everybody's okay that I know of. However, sometimes there is a bit of fear of I still can't get in contact with my family. And some people desire to go on, mission trips down by the country, but sometimes it gets a bit dangerous because even if it's spread apart from the group, we have no way of contacting you to say, where are you now? And it can sometimes get devastating because to hear that there are the bodies of dead persons on the road, that must be very hard. And the thought of what happened to my family, especially for an elderly person. So for many, it's a time of gratitude, but as well as a bit of worry of what is happening.
Yeah, and same question for you, Brian, because you're the National Student Council president, and I'm sure you have been experiencing and hearing from so many students and campuses. So what's the word on the ground?
The word on the ground currently is that several students are very stressed at the moment. They're going through a whole lot of mental trauma. We've just been through the strongest hurricane to hit Jamaica in record. So it's really mentally draining because if you'd have noticed, this hurricane would have been was stated to hit the east side of the island, then it switched to the middle, then it went to the west. So it's just stressed out everyone. And our students were even more stressed by the fact that they found out that their family members have passed. Some of them have lost homes. Some of them are without clothes, drinking water, food to eat. So it's really mentally draining at this time. Something that I've been hearing more towards the eastern side is that they feel like the reopening of school has been a bit rushed because we've been through the strongest hurricane to ever hit the island, and then school were suddenly reopened the Monday after. So students feel as if the Ministry of Education should have waited a bit more before encouraging this reopening of schools. Because, as I said, many students are still not aware if their family is even alive or not. Some of them can't even access ATM. Still in the eastern regions, I'm not talking about the west. In the eastern region, some persons cannot access ATM to buy essential items. So it's really stressing them out. Another thing that's also affecting them is that drivers are hiking the prices of certain things. Like, for example, if I were in St. Catherine and wanted to go to Kingston, they would add on like a $500 extra fee to just to get to a school in Kingston. So it's really stressing for our students at this time. So I stand in solidarity with all students, and I believe that the school should have been reopened. The date that it was slated to be reopened should have been pushed back a bit, just so that everyone could mentally recover from this draining experience.
And Destiny's back with us. Destiny is from Trinidad, but she is the president of UCCF at the University of the West Indies. And Destiny, I just wanted to know from you pretty much the same question. What kind of feedback are you getting from your UE campus sites in terms of how they're coping?
Yes, thank you again for having me. A lot of these students share the same sentiments that Brian was mentioning about just feeling like it was rushed, feeling like we had to almost like jump right back in with the same expectations when the reality is that we just experienced something traumatic, and even those students were not even if they weren't directly affected, they still have family members, they still have people that they care about, and so that's how the community feels. Even our Christian community, we feel it. That doesn't mean that we don't lack faith or we don't trust God, but the reality of our feelings and presenting those things to God is something that we want and continue to create space for even now.
So this thing is a bit, there are a lot of things to consider, and it's so difficult to even consider because it has never happened before. Right? That's the greatest challenge with this. It's not like we have a blueprint, because persons would say, oh, you know, there was burial last year, but burial does not compare to Melissa at all. I mean, yes, there was a bit of damage and devastation, particularly in St. Elizabeth, but Melissa has affected the entire island. And yes, I did say the entire island. It may not be physical, but from a mental health standpoint, emotionally, all of those things. And even from a financial standpoint as well, because we do depend on the West a lot for economic growth and sustainability, you know, tourism, agriculture, stuff like that. Which leads me to my next question. Based on where we are now, how can we get people to be concerned about the mental health of our young people? Talia, what do you think about that?
I would say bring as much awareness as possible. Sometimes we can be so comfortable with where we are, so it doesn't hit us that much to be empathetic. We just can say, oh my goodness, this is terrible, why is this happening? And then it just gone. So this might sound a bit harsh, but sometimes we have to like word it in a way to say, think of it as you in this situation. There's been something that it bothers me. It's something more physical, but it bothers me mentally too. It puts me in a place of I have to help. Like I have to help. When I think of young ladies needing sanitary napkin, I can't think of 4 days in the same underwear. It bothers me. I can't be like I said, me that just buy that alone. And we have to put those things in perspective and really relate it to you. Try your best to imagine yourself in this position.
You know, I believe that despite everything that is happening or has happened, there's something that can be done to really empower, or especially our young people. We've all seen the videos of the children walking up and down the street, you know, asking for food. We've heard the stories, and some of us might have even been a part of it or lived through it. What should be done, or how can we encourage more people to invest in the mental health of our young people, our children? You know, I know as a nation we're dealing with a lot, but I feel like children are even the most vulnerable. And that's definitely something we want to unpack. We're jumping to a quick break, but when we return, I want to hear from you guys on what should be done to invest in the mental health of our young people. So stick and stay with us. We'll be back for more Campus Connection.
See how my hand face bruise up? They beat me just because I said I'm tired.
I'm only 13, but they said if I work harder, they will make me go back home.
Me not have no birth paper nor no ID. Them have all of my documents them. Forced labor is one of the many forms of human trafficking. Report suspected cases of human trafficking. Call the nearest police station 119 or 888 PROTECT. A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Okay, where are the campus heights? Students are strapped up in a price.
Welcome back to Campus Connection, brought to you by the Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign from the Ministry of National Security and Peace. And just before the break, I did pose a question to our guests. I wanted to know what can be done to invest in the mental health of our young people or children, being that they are the most vulnerable at this point in time. And I believe, Brian, that's something you could address for us. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so mental health is a very sensitive topic, especially in today's day and age. We can do several things to improve the overall mental well-being of our youth, but some of my suggestions would include, firstly, just to have it more sensitized within schools. You know, in schools we usually focus on the more co-curricular based type of things. We focus on the syllabus of the of what we need to do, but we don't really focus on what our students actually feel on the personal level, what they feel when they go home. So I believe that more spaces should be given to students at school, especially with the passing of this recent hurricane. I think that's something that can be done for both students and the administrators, is that they have sit-down sessions where they both get a chance to express their feelings and views, just like we're doing right now, to one another, just so that we can build for that space of self-expression. Because if you keep it inside, it will build and it will drive you crazy. So I think this is something that we could do. And I strongly recommend this to all schools, that they have these types of sessions with the passing of this devastating hurricane. Because trust me, our students need it, our teachers need it. Everybody needs this space to really express themselves. Additionally, we can also do this at the community space. I know that a lot of communities are devastated right now, but especially for the ones that aren't, we can try to forge a congregation, get persons to congregate and meet to just express themselves, because it is through expression that we really build for mental health. So those are two of my suggestions.
Yeah.
So that's very good, powerful. But we want to take the conversation even a bit further. And Destiny, you may be able to answer this aspect of it all. When you, because Destiny, you were in Jamaica when Melissa happened?
Yes, I was. I was here.
Okay. All right. How did you feel being away from Trinidad? You know, you're in Jamaica during a natural disaster. What was that experience like?
Honestly, I had a lot of questions because this was my first hurricane experience.
Wow.
Yeah, thankfully I had some family out here. My sister is here with me. So that created some sense of comfort, but I stayed in contact with my family, talking to them on the phone and stuff, because it's like so many unanswered questions. You don't know what to expect, but we made it through. And I think just having had here was a huge help to just navigate that entire experience.
That is really staying with you, Destiny. So when you think of everything that took place, because I know that a number of US students, they had to stay on campus. What was the experience like, you know, hearing from the students going through the actual hurricane?
A lot of students, it's almost like we talk about community, like students had to be helping students, and we really needed to advocate for ourselves. Even the Trinidadians, they were also in the news advocating for assistance, and it created a shift, and I think it showed us the power of helping each other, coming together. Sometimes we talk about creating a safe space for people, and so during the hurricane experience, I would say it really fostered community, people relying on each other, and also speaking up for ourselves, whether that was to governments or to our administration.
We have a voice note from someone in studio. I believe it's from Patsy, one of our listeners, and we just want to bring that up because she had a take on our question, on our social media question. So let's hear from Patsy.
Good evening, everyone. It's nice hearing you and the encouragement that you're giving. It's not really nice. I'm giving God praise because my family are living in Westmoreland and I get to hear from them now. And I never hear from my son. And last night I was praying and asking God. And today I was in the church and I told a lady, and she said nothing no wrong with him, and after that I hear from him, I'm giving thanks, and I pray for all who lost a loved one. That is the thing, that when you lose people, material things, not that much, because we have life, but when you lose loved one, we keep on praying. God will always come true.
Certainly. I tell you one thing, guys, that this hurricane has taught me is the value of not taking people for granted. You know, that person that you see when you walk on the street, you might see them every day as you're going to school, going to work. You don't take it for granted that you'll see that person tomorrow, you know? And so love people while you can, while they are in your sphere of influence, while you're able to connect with them. It's important to love, and even more so to ensure that this trauma that we've just been through as a nation doesn't become bitterness, you know, because it's easy to start blaming, oh, this person isn't doing this, and blame the politicians and the MPs. And it's important to don't go that route. Don't go that route, because you would have missed what you were supposed to learn from this experience. And something Jonathan said earlier, in everything, give thanks. It might not look like a pleasant situation, but thank the Lord that you still have life, because you don't know what good can come from it. So yeah, those are some of the things that stood out to me. What about you guys? Any final thoughts, any lessons that you're coming away from this with? Taleo?
Well, for me, I would say really to spend more time with people that I love, like really spend more time with them, as well as the point made by Brian about really creating spaces in schools, even if it's a 30 or 45-minute session, or even in your workplace, to sit down and say, let me speak to that one coworker at my lunchtime, find out how they're doing. I know that, our family member, a friend that has a family member down in the country, I say, I have to see that you are okay, to spend time with you. I have to, encourage you with the word of God. Most definitely pray with you. And be there for the person and allow them to speak and express how they feel.
And we are wrapping up, guys, but quickly, Brian and Destiny, what's one thing that you would say you're coming away from this with?
Yes, but as you would have said, the importance of just checking up on your family and your friends. With this hurricane, I saw that many of my family members have lost their homes. Several of my friends are left homeless, who I see at school every day, and I don't usually just talk to them randomly like this. So I really realized the importance of just checking in on everyone, even just because. And another thing that I would like to think that we've, as a nation, taken away from this is the importance of collaboration. You see, everyone was a bit segregated. I've realized the segregation within Jamaica, but due to this hurricane, everybody seems a bit more collaborative. Every sector of the ministry is collaborating. Every independent organization is trying to work together just to help these persons who are struggling. So I would think that the aspect of collaboration would be restored due to this incident, which is at least a good thing from this devastating hurricane.
And Destiny?
Yes, one thing this experience taught me is that we could have peace in the midst of chaos, and we could have joy. Our sources from God. Jonathan mentioned earlier how persons still smiling, still willing to give, even though they may seem to be the ones lacking. And I think this is just a lesson that no matter what we experience, our external circumstances, God is our source, He's our peace. And once we stay grounded in Him, everything else will be taken care of.
Hello, right before I go, I would just like to mention that I've been volunteering constantly with different organizations, both in Jamaica and abroad. And something that I would like to publicly seek from any viewer listening is that if they know of any public kitchen facilities that weren't severely damaged in the western regions in this hurricane, that they could kindly reach out to me. My number is 876-773-1947. If you know of any kitchen facility, any like a school that wasn't severely damaged, if their cafeteria wasn't severely damaged, then they can reach out to me and I can get an organization there to mass distribute hot meals towards the communities in those affected areas.
Love it. And I mean, I just want to applaud that, even you just getting in there and really trying to help, and applaud every single one who has been doing something about what you've heard, trying to, you might not have much, but you're definitely trying to help. So thank you so much, guys, for being on with us. Talea Ferguson, Brian Anderson, Destiny Finley. We certainly appreciated this time to just share and do our mental health check-in with you all. Thanks for being on the show.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for having us.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A sobering show, but a very important one. And we're so very grateful that you would have taken the time out to be with us here inside Campus Connection on the family station Love 101. We are sending out again our condolences to the families, to the friends, to the loved ones who would have, lost loved ones as a result of Hurricane Melissa. And we're sending out words of encouragement and a lot of prayer for those persons who have been displaced, for those persons who are going through a very difficult time right now. Yes. And I want to take this time to make an appeal to the Jamaican people, to the diaspora, to the other nationalities who may very well hear this. Please reach out, donate, volunteer, do as many things as you possibly can. If you can't do any of those things, share the links to reputable donation sites and stuff like that, because we have to stand together with every single person who has been affected by this hurricane. We want to thank our team members for making it Campus Connection week after week. Jermaine Johnson, Nick Angus, Shania Smith, Daniel Cox, David Sutton, Eden Palmer, Ruth Lawrence, Camille Lawrence, Raquel Robertson. I want to thank our guests again for being a part of the show. Thank you so much for making it Campus Connection. That's it for our show this week. See you next week as we explore more things while going on campus. Campus Connection is proudly brought to you by Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign from the Ministry of National Security and Peace. I am Jonathan Fletcher.
And I'm Vanessa. Stay safe.
You're tuned to Family Radio, broadcasting from Kingston, Jamaica. We're Love 101 FM. Thank you so much for choosing us. Do stay connected. Our time right now is 6:30 p.m., and it's therefore time for us to bring you